Schefter. Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a man who knows all the things that maybe we weren't able to cover there. Senior NFL insider for ESPN, ladies and gentlemen, Adam Schefter. Schefter, let's wrap it up here on the Colts. Danny Dimes, is this what he was supposed to be? Is this what he always was? It was just the Giants uniform and organization? Or what is kind of what you're hearing about Danny Dimes on a renaissance type year?
Look, I remember I said this past off season, when there were some teams that were going to be in the market for a quarterback, I was surprised at the level of people that had the level of interest that they did in Daniel Jones. Now, not all the situations materialized, and the Colts were the team that made the most sense and pursued him the most aggressively. But there were some very smart football people that really liked Daniel Jones, that had an interest in making a move on him that didn't need to. And so he winds up at Indianapolis. And again, let's remember this, Pat. I would have to look, but was it 2 years ago? 2 years ago, roughly, that the Giants signed him to a contract for about $40 million a year?
Three. They made the playoffs, remember, Minnesota, that whole thing?
No, I remember. Okay, so it was 3 years ago. So 3 years ago, they gave him a contract befitting of a franchise quarterback. And that was a year in which what he did was magic. And in fact, it was so impressive that they opted to re-sign him over Saquon Barkley because they couldn't do both.
Whoa.
So they chose over Saquon Barkley.
We don't need to do that.
Right?
Hey, we don't need you to be doing that right there, okay? We don't need you to be doing that. We're having a good time with Danny Dimes right now. Could have paid both, okay? Could have paid both. There are places that have certainly made it possible in that type of situation, but we love him here in Indy. Feels like he fits the town perfectly. Not scared to go have a couple beers with the boys, too, which we love and it. We respect. Okay, let's move to some other news out of the weekend that maybe people need to be caught up with. Schefter, what did we miss maybe in there that's in your department? I saw some Achilles, I think, some other injuries. Obviously, that's going to happen with football. What should we be paying attention to?
Well, we got a bunch of injuries going on right now. Mike Evans looks like he has got a low-grade hamstring strain. We'll see how long he's sidelined. He's missed a few weeks last year with a hamstring injury, so I'm going to guess he misses a little bit of time here. CD Lamb, the thought is a high ankle, but he believes that he could try to play next week. We'll see whether he could do that. Colston Loveland had a hip injury. Doesn't appear to be serious at all. And obviously the two big injuries of the day yesterday were at the running back position. Najee Harris, you saw his Achilles on the replay pop. Awful injury. The Chargers confirmed after the game it's an Achilles injury. They were waiting to get the MRI for the official word, but I think everybody knows what's coming there with Najee Harris. And, of course, we have the situation with James Conner, the Cardinals running back, who now suffered a awful ankle injury that's going to end the season and require surgery. I don't even know exactly what it was, like whether it was an ankle dislocation, whether there was also ligament damage. I just know I was told it was severe and it's going to end the season. And that's an enormous blow for a guy who not only is a great running back, but also a leader on that team and incredibly popular in the locker room. So it's a bad scene. And the crowd, when they replayed the play on the scoreboard yesterday, gasped when they saw his ankle bend. They didn't even play the replay on TV. And there's just one of those injuries you knew right away. And, of course, Nick Bosa is about to get his MRI right now as we're talking for his knee injury. We don't know the full extent of it. He obviously was spotted walking off the field, gave a thumbs down sign to some fans in the stands. Exactly. Kyle Shanahan said he didn't think it was an ACL. That was the initial test. What that showed, it was intact initially, but they have to go send him out for further testing. And sometimes things show up on a second test that didn't on a first, or sometimes it's not as bad or worse. We'll see, but I know he's about to go into the MRI as I was coming on the air here.
Okay, so hopefully he's good. Obviously, walking off means something, but doesn't. He might just be a completely different species of human, especially if you look at him, you think maybe life is a little different for his body than for ours. You mentioned James Conner. He had beaten cancer in the past. I think he's an incredibly tough guy. Obviously, we have nothing but love to send his way. A.Q. Shipley, who's the color commentator for the Arizona Cardinals for their team broadcast, he sent me a text. He's like, that's when one of the nastiest things I've ever seen. Because remember, they didn't show the replay on TV. So as soon as that happens, and then we heard the audible gasp from the crowd, and then AQ sends, it's like, ugh, that's nasty. Hopefully, obviously, we're at the point of science being able to take care of that. You talked about Mike Evans with his injury. Let's stay in Tampa. Connor has a question for you.
Yeah, Schefter, similar to Jaden Daniels last week where he got hurt early and then no one really knew about it until it popped up midweek. Is that a situation that's going to happen with Baker here? We saw his right hand bother him during the game. I forget if it got hit or stepped on or what, but that seemed to kind of affect him a little bit even though he closed strong. Is that something that could linger later on the week?
You know what's interesting about that is on Monday night when they were playing the Texans 1 week ago, there were a couple of plays that Baker had where I watched his leg bend in certain angles.
Knee.
Oh, my God. Like there was one play, I'm like, this guy got up from that. He's Gumby. Like that's incredible. And I was talking to the Buccaneers the next day, and they went over to Baker after the game. Like, you okay? And he's like, and his choice of language to them was to basically say with some profanity, "Get out of my face," basically.
Whoa! I don't know what he said though. You're a journalist. You need to tell me what he said. I mean, if we're going to do journalism here, let's make sure.
Two words,
please.
2 words. Two words. The first starts with an F. The second one starts with a Y. So that's what he.
Sound like though, what was the context of the delivery? Because you're the journalist, obviously. We just wanted to make sure.
The way I wasn't there, but the way I understood it to be, it was like, don't bother. Like, I'm fine. Like, don't bother.
That's what Baker Mayfield said. Don't bother me. I'm fine.
If it's an F and a Y, he could have been saying like, "Hey, Froyo." Post-game?
Oh, yeah, because maybe he wanted a little frozen yogurt to maybe make him feel better.
Exactly.
And he's trying to diet, obviously, because he wants to look like he's getting a little older. So he's not going for a full blizzard.
No.
But he'll do the froyo. But he will take the Oreo.
Yeah, Oreo.
And put it on the froyo.
Topping.
For sure, yeah. Is that what he said? That's good call.
Yeah, because FY, the first thing I thought was, oh, Froyo. Baker's so focused on his physique.
How's your knee? Froyo? We don't know.
Oh, now I know. Okay, now I know how he got to frozen yogurt. It was a frozen yogurt conversation.
What do you? Oh, that's misinformation.
Yeah. Wait.
Hey, people are getting some really harsh penalties for that shit. You need to watch, especially right below you there, right below you on your left side. You need to watch.
It was frozen yogurt, just to clarify here.
Okay, he said froyo.
He said, "Are you okay?" He said, "Give me some frozen yogurt." Exactly.
Okay.
Wow, that's crazy. That's Baker Mayfield football.
Yeah,
that's why we love him. D-Bud has a question for you about that position. As
by the way, hold on. It was not FU, so it's not frozen yogurt. It was F off with a smile.
Makes more sense.
So what would that be? I don't think I've ever heard that really said.
It means like I'm fine. You don't have to ask me that question. Like.
Way you're kind of reciting it versus what it actually was doesn't sound the same.
Yeah.
Corrected on air, like in real time. I will say this. There are many things that I love about doing this program. Many things. Pat's brilliant. He's never done the show in a Speedo, which I think he should start doing that. There's many things I love, but I love when I'm asked a question, and sometimes either there's a detail that's off or a question. And the person is watching the show, and they can text me the information, actually, in real time, as it happens, like it was F off with a smile. That's how it came down.
Well, we're happy that people are watching, and you can watch every game, every Sunday.
Wow. And they haven't met today, like they haven't had the meetings yet, but they think Baker's good. So
So Baker sounds like he's going to be effing good. Thank you for that report. D-Bud has a question for you on that position.
Yeah, Schefter, hope someone text you and give you an update on these guys. The other quarterbacks that have been out, the starting quarterbacks, Brock Purdy, and then all the J's, J.J. McCarthy, Jaden Daniels, Justin Fields.
Well said.
What's the update on those guys?
That was cool.
Boom.
Aaron Glenn was a little bit vague on Justin Fields today, so we'll see whether he's able to make it back. He's got an extra day next week because the Jets play on Monday night against the Dolphins.
Can't wait.
J.J. McCarthy not expected to play this week. They play in Dublin against the Steelers. And again, it's an international trip where they play the Steelers in Dublin and then they go play the Browns in London. They are the first team to go to two different countries. The Jaguars have done this back-to-back weeks. to play in two separate countries. And I don't think JJ plays in either game because they then have a bye week the next week. And then he can be rested and healthy and rejoin the lineup after that.
Okay.
He is traveling with the team. Obviously, he became a father last week for the first time. But he's going to travel with the team overseas. He'll be with them the entire time. I just don't expect him to play in those two particular games.
Marcus Mariota?
Justin Fields.
Marcus, I would say this. Marcus Mariota played well yesterday. And I think the way he played gives the Commanders time to not have to rush back Jaden Daniels. Now, we'll see how Jaden Daniels is doing this week. But when a quarterback plays like that, I think it really allows that team to take its time and know that it's got a capable backup and a capable replacement. And they haven't declared anything about what their quarterback plans are. I don't think Dan Quinn will come out and say today. Maybe he will. Jaden is back this week and we're all ready. I think this will be something that kind of goes on all week again. And I think that they have the comfort knowing that Marcus played the way he did yesterday, throwing dimes downfield like that one.
Okay, Andy can run scoring touchdown for Marcus Mariota when he's playing. Let's just go ahead and lock that one in. Feels like that is a guarantee. Let's also lock in Mac Jones. Who? Mac Jones?
Who?
Mac Jones?
Who?
Back then, they didn't want him. Now he's hot. We all want him. Mac Jones is the guy out there in San Fran. How long and what does this mean going forward?
Well, he played very well yesterday and led that team to that victory.
That's what he do.
Brock Purdy is getting closer, and it wouldn't surprise me if Purdy's back this week, finally. Initially, that injury wasn't as bad as they thought. He recovered a little quicker. Still painful, but the fact that he was back limited last week, they ruled him out yesterday morning, but I think Purdy's going to have a real chance to go this week.
Okay, and then Justin Fields, what's going on with him? When's he going to be back? Concussion protocol obviously is what it is.
Yep.
Yeah, again, he's got the extra day built in, so that's encouraging. And again, I think Tyrod Taylor played pretty well yesterday, and he's somebody that the team likes, trusts, respects. If Fields clears, then he'll be the guy. He's got an extra day to do it. I don't think that they have the answer to that. Aaron Glenn was pretty vague when he spoke about it earlier today.
Okay, pretty vague is not what a lot of NFL fans are on the internet when it comes to this guy. Ty has a question for you.
Yeah, Schefter, was last night the kind of straw that broke the camel's back in terms of Russ starting for the Giants. We saw a couple times, him basically just throwing it into the tunnel, throwing it off the uprights, throwing, lobs up there, throwing picks, just looking like shit pretty much. And then after the game, Dable even said, when asked about the fans booing the quarterback situation, he basically said, I would have booed too. Why wouldn't you? So, are they done with Russ, or are we going to do this whole same song and dance next week?
Brian Dable didn't want to answer the question after the press conference yesterday. And I think once you answer it once, you kind of get into a habit of opening yourself up to this. So I guess he didn't want to open up the speculation. I think after that series, there were some people that were disappointed. The schedule is so brutal that there's not a great time to go to the young quarterback. They play the Chargers at home this week. Get the schedule right here. I think that they play after that. Here we go. Chargers at home, at New Orleans.
Boom.
I mean, that might be good, but I don't know if you want to start the guy on the road and then home.
Yes,
for
you
Philly.
do. This Saints team, you definitely want it. That is.
Hold on. And then you got home for Philly. That's not. And then at Denver, at Philly. Home for San Francisco. It's a gauntlet.
He's got to play sometime.
After that run.
I mean, that is a terrible run for sure. That is a horrendous run. That is not an easy decision. Also, Daboll, Shane, they got to be thinking about their jobs, or are they tied with Jaxson Dart's future success? How's that kind of work? Because, there is a conversation like these people were going crazy when Jaxson jogs on the field. And obviously we've seen this before and it not work out, but we've seen it before and it does work out. He looks like he's built for the moment, and we're seeing what we're seeing. Is there a chance that Daboll and Shane are thinking about their job, or they think about the future? What is the mindset over there in the decision-making process?
The process has been that they've wanted to stay as patient as they can with Russell. Wilson is their starting quarterback with Jaxson Dart on the bench. That's been where they've been at. They're 0-3 though right now.
Yeah.
The fans are booing. At some point they're going to make the change. Like, it's coming. We just don't know when they're going to break down and go to.
It's a tough
quarterback.
The boys want it today, Schefter. The boys are calling for Jaxson Dart today. Now, granted, one of the boys dealt with Russell last year, where Russell had like a 4 or 5 games where he was on fire, and then it went the other way. And I would like to thank Russell Wilson for everything he's done for ball. But if I'm 0-3, and I think this conversation might come up later about a couple other teams as well. If I'm 0-3 with what the stats say and what the future looks like for our team, why would you not want to kind of see what you have? I understand that is a tough schedule. That certainly is not a good schedule for the Giants. And if I'm Daboll, who's potentially on my last leg, I'm not happy that this is what the schedule looks like going forward as we are 0-3. But, boy, at some point we got to let the Ole Miss boy, the Ole Miss dog, try to run out there.
Didn't they get last place last year?
How
do they have the hardest schedule in the NFL the following year?
The NFL schedule makers say, hey, Giants, that's cute. I didn't like the way Daboll talked about us. Let's go ahead and get him the hell out of here. I mean, it is anything else to wrap this entire story up here? Daboll and Shane, are we good?
Jordan Renan just reported that Tyrone Tracy dislocated his shoulder last night.
Scatterboot now starter.
Yep.
I would think we're going to see a little bit more of Cam Scatterboot right now moving forward, because Tracy will miss multiple weeks. Look at Xavier Worthy. He dislocated his shoulder the first week in the friendly fire incident with Travis Kelce. He's missed the next 2 games, and my understanding was that the injury was more severe than people realized. And so now Tyrone Tracy's got a dislocated shoulder. He's a running back. He's using that shoulder quite a bit. So, yeah, I think Cam Scatterboot now will step into a larger role with Tracy out.
The world's going to enjoy Cam Scatterboot. Yeah. The only reason why I know that is because, boy, it was great to learn about him at Arizona State last year. And he should have been known a long time ago. We have this high school clip of him. I posted this last night. I don't know if you saw it. Cam Scatterboot in high school, untackleable, actually. Look at this dude. He sprawls and all stuff mixed together. Oh, yeah, he's breaking a couple tackles. This is good for high school. Yeah, we've seen this before. Okay, he's still going. It's got to be over there, right? Got to be over there. Nope. He's on the other side of it. Cameraman. He's the one scoring the touchdown. Yeah, that's him. Scatterboot has like 4 plays from there. He has a kickoff return, I think, where he has something like that from high school. I have no idea how he ended up at Arizona State and kind of overlooked. But his head is the size of this desk. Okay, and his grit and determination to win is beyond everybody's. And he was overlooked. It's like, this dude is a weapon, and his style of play is very much
battering ram.
Yeah, he wants to pound people. It's good for football if Scatterboot continues to go. He levitated for that one. I mean, it was like a 12-foot levitation Cam Scatterboot had. And then we're going to hit a backflip. Yep, no problem. In full. I mean, this dude's a real deal, dude. And I'm happy he's at the Giants, because that's a massive market to kind of get a hold of him. But I wish he was on a team that was potentially going to go on a real run, because this dude is legit, Schefty. Legit.
Well, first of all, that run that he made in high school, I hadn't seen that before. That's one of the greatest runs I've ever seen from any running back ever. Like that's as good as any run I've ever seen. That's like in the Beastquake category. That's like in Sanders territory. Look at how many tackles he avoids. Just when you think he's down, he's not. He breaks loose again. He absolutely has to be finished here, right? They have him wrapped up, thrown down, right? No, they don't. He breaks free again. Chris Berman would have a field day with that highlight. And that's all I could think as I'm watching that. He would love that. And Cam Scatterboot, to tie back to your initial question, I don't understand why the Giants didn't run him when they got down to the 4-yard line last night on that series with Russell Wilson.
Russ
was Scatterboot playing the way he was. Like, how about giving the ball to Cam Scatterboot?
They want to hit the goalpost.
Chris Berman going, woo, woo, Cam Scatterboot would have been every single week.
Whoop, whoop. Yep.
Scatterboot, boop. I mean, it would have been hey, boom. Come on, Boom.
Yeah,
come on,
Boom. We need that every week. We need Scatterboot watch with Chris Berman going forward. Okay, let's talk about another decision that was made that everybody had questions about, but if it worked out, they would have been looked at as geniuses. Down in Atlanta, kind of a quarterback conversation. Go ahead, Tone.
Yeah, Schefty, we are all big fans of Michael Penix here, but he looked like shite yesterday. The whole team, the Falcons did not look good in general yesterday, losing on the road to the Panthers. And then Kirk Cousins made an appearance in this game. Was it just because the game was away and they wanted to keep Penix healthy, or can we read into this situation? What are your thoughts on this whole situation between Penix and Kirk Cousins?
That's what it is. To me, Michael Penix had a bad day, a terrible day. They were giving him relief. The game was over. Take him out. On to a new day. And they were just giving Kirk Cousins some mop-up time right there. It wasn't like they're bringing him to challenge Michael Penix or anything like that. To me, that was one of the more disappointing results of yesterday. Green Bay losing to Cleveland. You've got the Panthers beating the Atlanta Falcons. See, the week before, the Falcons on Sunday night were incredibly impressive against the Vikings in Minnesota. It's hard to reconcile how a team could look that good one week and then play like that the next week. That's odd to me.
That's football, baby.
Yeah,
That's football. That's why the NFL has the parity that it has, because you have no idea who's going to show up.
No idea.
And getting everybody to kind of row in the same direction whenever there's injuries and there's replacements, that's like super duper special teams. You got guys that are signing on to the team on Thursday that are impacting the game on Sunday. It's like, that's why the NFL is the greatest, and we're going to expect it forever. Shout out to the Panthers putting it together.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Panthers putting it together. Shout out to the Cleveland Browns being problematic. Now, let's look to tonight's game. High-scoring affairs, what the sports books are saying, over under 53.5. Lions and Ravens. Anything we need to know for tonight's game that we should be thinking about?
Yeah, a couple of things. I think, first of all, it wouldn't surprise me if both teams made some roster moves this afternoon. Marcus Davenport's dealing with a chest injury. We'll see whether the Lions go ahead and put him on IR or whether he can avoid that. We'll see whether the Ravens have to put Justin Madubuike, their outstanding defensive tackle, on injured reserve. He's got a neck injury. It's a little problematic, and it wouldn't surprise me if just before 4 o'clock we got notice that Justin Madubuike wound up on injured reserve, which would be a loss for that particular defense. Aiden Hutchinson's kind of fighting his way back. You'll notice guys are coming at him. He's facing all kinds of things as he's playing defensive end, which has been interesting to watch, some of the ways that teams have gone at him. Interesting.
They had Noise out, right, too, right, Shefty?
Yep.
What's that?
They had Noise
he's
out, yeah.
Can you bet on 500 rushing yards? Because both D lines sound like they're completely ravaged.
That's a good question.
You can try.
Well, I mean, Derrick Henry, last week, the Browns had 9 men in the box, it seemed like, the entire game, and they were determined not to let Henry run, and the Ravens had
defense
making plays of different sorts, but Derrick Henry last week was a non-factor with them playing the line like that. I don't think that'll happen again tonight.
All right, Schefter, we appreciate you on TV all night, we assume?
Yeah, we're going to be doing SportsCenter, NFL Live, Monday Night Countdown, in the middle of having some FY, hopefully.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, well, don't FO, brother. You got a big-time day. Ladies and gentlemen, senior NFL insider for ESPN, Adam Schefter.
Hey, Shefty!
We appreciate Shefty. All the intel, all the inside notes. Feels like there's a lot of injuries tonight. It's week 3.
Yeah.
So this is football.
Okay.